Good morning. It's around 7:15 in the morning. It's a windless day. It's October 11th. It's day 5 of the Morton pole barn. Guys got here right when the sun was peaking, and they're hauling. They were actually working before it was full light. They're putting pieces of 2x4, I'll show you in a second, in these areas so that when they lay down the metal siding, they can secure it. And of course I have the time-lapse camera running. It's always kind of cute to see them look like ants scurrying around on the time-lapse. It only turns out to be like 3 to 4 minutes long, so it's easy to watch. Yeah. It's supposed to rain tomorrow, which is Thursday and Friday. So we may have nothing to report on Thursday and Friday because clearly working in a downpour, you don't have to. Sucks. It's dangerous. But you can see, let's see if I can get a little closer. You can see right here, little pieces of 2x4 being inserted along this piece. And it gives a nice flat, level surface so that when they put the metal siding on, it's smooth. Doing a great job, but I'm always tend to be rather upbeat about things. Just say it like it is. We'll take a walk around the site. I may have mentioned this before, but you see this piece of wood here. Actually, that's concrete attached to a piece of wood, and the concrete is the part that's up against the concrete and also touches the ground. And since concrete, unlike wood, does not rot, that's why it's in contact with the ground, the wetness, moisture, everything else. So that's the idea. You knew that, great, and if you didn't know it, well, you're with me. I'm learning it as I go along. Morton Builders has a good reputation. So far it's been supported by the work ethic that all these fellas have. Lordy, lordy, this is big. But as I described before, it's better to have it too big than too small. If I ever get car lifts in here, or somebody wants to put car lifts where you have car, and car, plus some storage up above, this will be the right size. It's funny how storage always seems to get filled with something, and this will be filled with something. Cars, who knows what it's going to be used for in the next 100 years. It'll be used for something, and somebody will enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy it, and then when I move off this mortal coil, someone else will get to enjoy it, and hopefully the thought process that went into it will meet the needs of someone else in the future. It is a nice location, so it's all good. So I don't know what's in that black plastic that Troy, operating the forklift, is picking up. But that's about it. I assume I'll be out later on today documenting the progress, how things are going. So one of the few times in my life I do not want rain, because of course I'd much rather have the pole barn finished sooner rather than later. But like many things in life, I have no control over it. So I'll probably be back. Bye. Well, this is what they've been doing, other than laying down the wood on those areas to make it so it's flat. Hey guys, what are you doing? Can you talk to the camera and tell us?
Put a fascia cover on. Soffit fascia cover.
Soffit fascia cover. Looks good. The safety guy's here. He said you're doing a great job.
That's good. We try to please them.
Yeah, to heck with Troy. So you see these obviously the openings for the windows, for those that understand. The idea is to have them up high enough so that bad people can't see in, but not so high that a step stool won't allow you to operate the windows. And I think I've mentioned this before, the idea is, since that's south and this is facing south, is designed so that sunlight will come in, especially in the winter, because as the sun comes down, it goes deeper into the building. There will be a 2-foot overhang here, which shades these windows June, July, and August, the hottest parts, and that was intentional. It also allows me to open the windows if it's a hot day in June, July, or August, knowing that if it does get some rain, we're not going to have rain penetrating the windows. Simple enough technique, did it on my house, seems to work really well. So that's always nice to see that coming in place. Yeah, just to give you a view, you can see what they're doing, see where all the windows are going to be. There could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And like I said, they'll be high enough to prevent people from jumping through the window. Not that security is a major issue, but times do change. So I'll be back. It's around 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Seeing what the guys are doing. It looks like they're putting windows in. They are. Looks like windows.
Windows. Windows installation.
Yeah. All right, I spent a little time talking to Troy, who's the site foreman, and I asked him about why all these chains are just scattered all over the place. And now that he explained it to me, I'm going, oh, that makes sense, as everything does if you ask a question. The chains are used to square up the roof. Remember before, there was a video where they showed you using a string, measuring the distance diagonally in each direction to make sure that it was square. They measure the distance here. Well, these chains are designed to allow them to square up the roof. So if for some reason the distance is different diagonally from here and there, they can then tighten these chains in a sequence and are able to rack the roof so that it's square, because they like to put the metal roof on the top to begin with. So all these chains are here for a couple reasons. One, to allow them to adjust the squareness of the surface they're going to put the metal roof on, and at the same time provide safety and stability, which are why we have these chains. All the chains are providing stability. And Troy made a good comment. He said once they get the roof on, the whole structure is much, much stronger, which makes perfect sense because it allows the building, inhibits the racking or the movement. So that made perfect sense to me. It also makes sense if you notice on these corners, as one of the design motifs ideas on this structure is I'm putting all the windows on the south side for two reasons. One, for security. It's hard for someone to come up to a window that's 7 feet up and look in. It's hard for someone to break through the window and get in. And the other reason is it faces south, like I've said before, and you can see the outline of the glass right there. So as the sun sets, gets lower in the sky, facing south, you see the sun's up pretty high, but come January, February, the sun will be somewhere here, and it will have a direct shot through the glass. And although I haven't done the calculations, I suspect that this shadow will be somewhere over there, and it will provide enough extra light so that when you enter the building in January, February, there'll be sufficient extra light without the use of artificial light that you can go around inside the building and see things. And that's important. And so that's the whole story for today. It was sort of a day of doing tedious work, doing the fascia and the trim, installing the windows, putting the chains in to help adjust it. Now, plan was they were not going to show up tomorrow, because there was a prediction of a lot of rain. But that possibility has decreased in the last 24 hours, so they may show up tomorrow. And if they do, they'll be putting the metal up on the roof. I have another appointment tomorrow, and that appointment is I'm going to be working on the RX-8, the Mazda RX-8, and try to get the poly bushings in. Depending on how things go, that's what I'll be doing. There won't be any video of this. It's too bad, because it's going to be an amazing transformation. So that's it. I love you all. You take care. Peace out.